From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, God.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio. And a single father writes into the Tom Leykis Show, and he says, "Hello, Tom. I'm 25, and I have a 3-year-old daughter with full custody. Fact, I'm owed $15,000 in child support." That's unusual, isn't it? Yeah. He says, "I haven't been laid in a year. I live in Southern California, in Temecula, and all I want is a booty call. But when chicks find out I have a kid, they lose interest. Maybe because they think I'm looking for a mom, when all I want is to get laid. What's going on?" No signature on this one. Well, I wonder if the women listening to our program would like to tell us what their policy is on dating single fathers. Maybe you've got some experiences with single fathers. Now, as you probably know, 90% of all custody goes to the mother. The single fathers are 10% of all child custody cases. This case is unusual. How often do you meet a guy who's getting child support from his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or whatever? Didn't say whether he'd been married. And wondering what drives a 25-year-old guy to want to be a single father or to fight for custody. I don't have kids. I don't understand it. Don't get it. Yeah, I think it's going to ruin your social life, especially, may I add, if you're living in Temecula. If you've never been to Temecula, I have. Temecula is way the hell away from civilization. Far, far away. It is to the south and east of Los Angeles along I-15. Almost down to San Diego. Way out there. Way, way, way out there. Yes, Dean, there are vineyards out there. Not a lot of drinkable wine. Because the vines went through the phylloxera louse, which destroyed a lot of the vines. Many of the wines that are the best from Temecula are Zinfandels, and Zinfandels need old vines to have great grapes, and many of the vines were ruined by an insect called the phylloxera. So a lot of Temecula's vineyards have been wiped out, leaving some of the lower-end stuff still out there. Although Callaway of the Callaway Golf Concern makes a very good Chardonnay. Other than that, not a lot of good ones. Just an aside. But may I say, if you're living out there in Temecula, Temecula ain't no Napa Valley, it ain't no Sonoma. There's not a lot of society out there. Not a lot of socializing to be done. Not a lot of places to go congregate with the ladies. So then being left with a child is, it's essentially suicide for your social life. Suicide, for Christ's sake. So I am wondering, ladies, do you date single fathers? Have you sworn off single fathers? What have some of your experiences been, and what do these guys generally expect? When I hear from women about single fathers, is just like I know to be true about many single mothers, in reverse, so to speak, is that many of them are looking for somebody to take the girl into the ladies' room or help change diapers or help pick out clothes. Maybe do some babysitting on a day when things get busy. I guess that can work either way. I babysat, yes. When I dated a single mother, I actually babysat. Dean is laughing his ass off in there. Yes, I did. I was dating a woman who was an aspiring actress, and I suspect she still is. And I would stay at her apartment in Sherman Oaks with her 2 kids. Yeah, I think she's still an aspiring actress. In fact, I think she'll always be an aspiring actress. But nonetheless, I've done this. And no matter how smoking somebody is, and no matter how much you like being around them, eventually they have needs, and you will be expected to fulfill them. I have a headache. Could you take the kids to the movies? It's back to school time. The kids need clothes. I don't know how to shop for clothes. I mean, there's any number of things that can happen. But I'm a guy. I only understand the guy part of it. As the guy who dated a single mother. I think in my whole life I did it 3 times. For more than a one-night stand. Yeah, 3 times. And it's got its own problems. But I know that when you meet a single father, that's a whole different set of circumstances. Some things in common, a lot of things not. So, ladies, what is your policy on single fathers?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
What do you give your girlfriend? Tell me about it.
Well, she's 30, single mother with a kid, and I work with her.
You get her a new boyfriend.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. All right, single fathers, ladies. How do you feel? Sarah, hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Sarah.
How are you?
Do you care, darling?
Of course I do.
I'm doing great.
Good. Glad to hear it. I have to tell you, I dated a guy who had 2 daughters by 2 different mothers. One age 4, one age 2, and when those girls were around, I was expected to play mommy. And I was not interested whatsoever in doing so.
By the way, I think a guy who has 2 different kids by 2 different mothers is just as much a loser as a woman who has 2 or 3 different kids by that many different fathers. I think you're a loser if you keep doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I learned that lesson, thankfully, way before it got too late.
Well, that part is good.
Yes.
And so when you told him that you were not going to tolerate it anymore, that you were finished, how did he react?
Oh, well, he just thought that as a woman that was my role to love his kids the way he loved them when they were around.
Or that anybody would love his kids as much as he does.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people think that, whether they're dating you or not, as evidenced by the fact they make you look at pictures of their kids, or they send you Christmas cards with their kids on them, like you're going to think they're the cutest children in the world, just like they do.
Exactly. And it's not my job to wipe their noses. It's not my job to watch them while he goes off and does different things with his buddies.
He was doing that? He was going out with his buddies and expected you to take care of the kids?
Oh, he tried, yeah.
Wow. Did you ever do it?
I did it once, and that was it.
Uh-huh.
No more.
Wow.
I don't have kids of my own. I've chosen that. I will choose to have kids if and when the time is right, but it is in no way my responsibility to take care of his and someone else's. He expected me also to maintain a relationship with these women, with the other women.
Like other women in the neighborhood who had kids?
No, with the mothers of these 2 girls.
Oh!
I was supposed to maintain a relationship because he couldn't stand them anymore, and so it was my job to coordinate the pickup times and the drop-off times and what they were going to get each other for Christmas or what they were going to get the kids for Christmas, and it was just so ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And you did it for a while.
I did it probably for a couple months because I thought, well, you know, we'll see if he's worth it. But I should have known way in the very beginning that all of it, none of it was worth it.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, so as soon as I heard you talking about this subject, I had to call because I will never, ever date a single dad again, ever.
Look at you. All right, Sarah. I can't say that, by the way, I can't say that I blame you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you being in agreement.
By the way, do you also include as a booty call? You wouldn't even do one as a booty call?
No way.
No way.
No way. It's just, there's just too much baggage there, more than I ever want to deal with because there's plenty of other guys that don't have kids that are worth a booty call.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, Sarah.
All right.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Michelle on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I am 35 years old. I am a single mother of 2 kids, and I was looking for a dad with full-time custody of his kids. I wanted the qualities. My ex-husband had nothing to do with the kids and wasn't involved with the kids, and if I found a man who had custody of his, I was pretty guaranteed that he was dedicated, devoted, and involved in family activities.
Now, you heard Sarah's call. You could very well meet somebody who you've got 2 kids and he's got 2 kids, and he could say, all right, you take care of all 4 kids. I'm going out with my pal.
Well, I mean, you've got to date a couple times to know that, to get to know him a little bit, but I was definitely looking for that quality. I didn't want somebody single who hadn't had kids yet.
Weren't you worried at all about whether your kids would get along with somebody else's kids that you hadn't yet met?
I knew that would be a possibility, but I think it would be more difficult to be dating a man who didn't have kids at all and didn't know how to be around kids and be involved in kids' activities because, you know, my life revolves around kids because I have them.
Yeah.
And
did you ever find anybody like that?
Yes. We've been dating for about a year and a half. He has 2 kids the same age as my kids, and they're all best friends. And he's been great. We're out there.
Wow, wow, wow.
I help with his kids. He helps with my kids. And we do kid stuff.
And the kid stuff is, do you ever have like a date?
Well, we met at a swimming pool when we were taking the kids swimming all the time.
That's not a date.
Nope, that's how it started. But we get the occasional, not very often though. But, you know, that's not.
But that's what you both want.
Reality is, yeah. I mean, our reality is our life revolves around our kids. They're between the ages of 8 and 12. There's 4 of them, and it's perfect.
I understand. All right, Michelle, well, I'm glad you found perfection. Appreciate the call. Kylie, on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Kylie.
Well, let me say that I will never date a man with children, ever. Only because they get all the attention and you become second priority.
Oh, the children get all the attention. Well, you see, this is what I tell women about single mothers. And that guys should never date women with children because they'll always be second fiddle.
Right.
And you're saying it's the same thing with a guy with kids.
Yes, I've dated 2 guys, and for some reason, I don't know why, but back to back. And it was the same thing. Well, I have to...
And they had custody?
Yes.
All right, and how old were these kids?
Well, one was 5 and the other one was 7. Well, one had custody and one had shared custody.
Uh-huh.
And it's always, I have to take my daughter to, her game, or she, I have to help her with her homework, or what if she comes along? And I love children, don't get me wrong, but I don't want his child or anybody's child on a date. And, the only thing that you can do on a date is maybe go to Disneyland or, a day at the park. I mean, that's not romantic. I mean, it's okay, but I don't prefer it. Right. I want the attention on me.
Yes. Well, that's a good reason. Now, have you met guys and told them, no way, you got kids? No.
Yes.
And what do they say when you tell them that?
they say that that they know how to give time to me and to the child, but, sometimes, what if you just want that booty call? What if you just want to show up at, 11 o'clock and just get one on, and then, they have the child there or something?
Well, you can always stop by the studio. My staff is ready, willing, and able to help.
Yeah.
So, and then that's another thing. The sex life becomes kind of a scheduled, activity.
If you're lucky, or worse yet, unscheduled, because you had no idea the kids were going to sleep as late or as early as they did.
Right.
You had no idea that the kids wanted to go play with their friends, and you would get an hour off. Yes, I know how that works.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does. So even if the guy's a hottie and he's just the sweetest man on earth, I don't want to share my time.
I understand, Kylie, and I thank you for that. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Angie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello, Angie.
Hello.
Is that a question or a statement, Angie?
I think men don't like single women with children. Women don't like single men with children.
Now, I hear you saying that, but I have also heard women say that they think it's so cute to see a man and his baby, a man and his son, a man. I mean, there are women who act like that. Every woman doesn't feel the way you do. Do they?
No, I don't think so.
But you feel that way. Have you ever dated a single father?
Yes, I have.
What was that like?
It's the most horrible thing.
Tell us why. Well, tell us the whole story.
Because she came before you. The attention had to be done to that child and not me. You went out on a date. She got what she wanted.
Which was what?
She wanted what movie to watch. It was her choice.
And so instead of seeing an adult movie, what did you see, like Finding Nemo or something like that?
Right.
Right. And you explained to him that you didn't like this, and what did he tell you?
He told me that it was going to work, and he was trying to make it better, where it was going to be both of our choices. That's not a choice.
Mm-hmm. And how long did you date this guy?
3 months.
3 months. And then what happened? You told him.
I told him, got rid of him, and told him that he wasn't going to find a woman that was going to put up with the BS.
And how did he react to that?
Very hurtful and cried and the whole shebang.
Oh, so it was a big scene. He's a big drama queen, huh?
Right.
Oh, boy.
And I had to put up with the sex, too. Like, be nice to her and get along with her and call her.
Oh, you had to call his ex?
Actually, I never did. She called me, and I was just not interested in talking to her.
What did she want to talk to you for?
Oh, wanted to know how things were, like she really cared.
Wow. Listen to that.
I just saw it as a waste of my time.
It is a waste of your time. So you're not going to do that again?
Oh, no.
I can tell. All right, Angie, thank you. Appreciate the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Ladies, do you date single fathers? Tell us about your experiences.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis, only on Hot Talk 1080 KO.
This is the Tom Leykis Show.
At 1-800-5800-TOM. Tallulah, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Tallulah.
Hey, I think I might want to hook up with this Temecula guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I live in Upland, so that's, not terribly far away, and I could always use a new booty call.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. And what I was thinking was maybe I could, if he's listening right now, maybe I could give my email address or actually I already did, and if he could send me a picture of himself, and if he's hot, then hey.
Then you've solved the problem.
Yeah.
Look at you.
If he can get a sitter and have car will travel, we could get together and party.
Wow. Now, do you live in a house in Upland?
I have my own apartment.
You have your own apartment?
Yep.
And how'd you end up in Upland?
How did I end up in Upland? I was born and raised out here.
Born and raised in Upland.
Yes, sir.
Look at you. Very nice. I've been out there. It can be very difficult to have a social life if you're single.
Well, I'm in Hollywood a lot.
Oh, I'll bet you are.
Yes, I am.
And then when you do a little boozing, I guess you better hope you meet somebody and hook up with them, because otherwise it's a long drive home.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a crapshoot. You know how it is.
Yes, I do. All right, Tallulah. Well, good luck meeting the guy from Temecula.
Yeah, that'd be really cool if he's hot. Yeah.
Now, you're not a single mom, are you?
No.
No.
I don't have time for that. Tom, I'm wondering, you've talked about that kind of person before that was just meant to be alone forever and bang everything that moves.
Yes.
That's me.
Really?
Yeah, if I want a man over, I have a man over. If I want to be alone, I enjoy my privacy.
They don't call it Upland for nothing.
Well, we'll see if this guy responds. We'll see about that.
All right, Tallulah.
Well, can you please take me out with 2 cracks on the ass followed with a gracias?
Of course.
Oh, Tom! Ow!
Gracias. 1-800-5800-TOM. Lisa on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Lisa.
How are you?
Do you care?
Of course I do.
Doing great.
I dated a man with children and married him.
You married him?
I married him.
How many kids did he have?
2.
He had 2 and you married him.
Oh, my God.
And what was that like?
Well, not good. You know, there are all the issues the other moms talked about were right on, and first one and probably the deal breaker was the priority issue. Men don't know how to prioritize between their children and their wives or girlfriends.
Uh-huh. Well, that's certainly true.
It is true.
Well, it's not just men. I think single parents, just in general. The priority is the children. That's the way it is, which is great for the children, but not very good for you.
Exactly. But, you know, the difference is if you really understand that and you're okay with that, you're living in the real world then. You know what I mean? It's more of a realistic hope for the relationship.
Right.
That's the first one. The second thing no one has brought up yet was the issue of money. Money spent in places where the girlfriend or wife feels is ridiculous.
Right. Well, obviously, you're not going to want him spending money on somebody else's children, which is what they are.
That's exactly. And they always will be.
That's right. And then you also have to take on the ex as part of the baggage.
Oh, yes.
Did you have to have a relationship with the ex?
You know what? We moved out of state while we were still dating, and we moved out of state. And then we got engaged, and I think long term my husband realized that had we stayed close by, our relationship would never have worked. And ultimately, it did go away, the marriage, because you know, I think in those situations there's a lot of resentment build up, you know, over the years. And there are little things that are not little things, and they never get resolved. And you're living with a dad who's got tremendous guilt for having his children in a relationship, you know, that isn't with their mom, or that the first relationship didn't work. So then you start to become, obviously, living with somebody who's guilt-ridden.
Well, and then you broke up with him, of course. Because you're talking about him in the past tense.
Well, because we're going through a separation now.
Because of the kids and his relationship with the kids.
I'm sorry?
Because of his relationship with his kids and your relationship with his kids?
Yeah,
and he knows that?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, did you notice any of these problems before you married him?
Yes.
And you married him anyway?
Yes.
Why?
You know why? At the time, I was 27. He's 12 years older than me, very established. You know, I didn't know I had never been married before. I had no children. I had traveled quite a bit. I was really ready to get married. And I think you're naive. I think I was probably naive like many other people, you know, that had gone before me. You think that love will conquer all, and this person who is very educated and very successful business-wise would be successful and smart in, you know.
Why would you assume that?
I'm sorry?
Why would you assume that?
Well, I think I just had so much respect for him as a businessman.
Well, let's take me. I'm a very successful businessman.
Yes, you are.
I'm a multimillionaire.
Okay.
But I've been married and divorced 4 times.
Right.
I'm 47, and I'm divorced today.
Right.
All right. Now, Wouldn't you think I'd be just as successful at home as I am at work?
No.
Why not?
But you see, I know that, well, I think because I'm older and probably wiser.
Oh, now you wouldn't assume that.
I would not assume
But
that.
back then you did.
I absolutely did. He was a wonderful, and he still is a great guy, you know.
Does he think you're being unreasonable?
Do I think I'm being unreasonable?
Does he think you're being unreasonable?
Yes. Yes. He thinks his viewpoint is, I've given you everything. You want for nothing. Why could you not, let them in? Why could you not, bend more for them? But you know what? Going back to what one of your callers said earlier, you're never going to love them. They're not your children. You're not going to put up with the crap and the attitude and the venom that the other parent, the mom, feeds the children, who then feeds it to you. It's just a lot to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry?
I know. I said, uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a very simple scenario, and I think when you realize that now. So
you say you're going through a separation.
Right.
Why not just, cut your losses?
Well, I am.
Well,
we're just in the midst of a separation.
You're only in a separation, though. When do the papers come?
It's kind of funny because he's dating somebody now, and I've been dating somebody that also has children, and I think that
You're dating somebody with children?
Yes.
Why? You just went through this.
But you know what? I have children, and I'm not 25 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel this way. If anybody I meet now is going to have children. And at this stage of life, if they don't have children, there's usually a reason why.
Well, you might meet somebody who's, 48, whose
Right.
kids are grown.
Exactly. Now, but
and then, even though they have kids, the kids have jobs, or they're in college, or they're gone away.
You think it ends there?
It's not that it ends there, but, you're not, wiping their snot off their face or helping them learn how to wipe their ass. I mean, they're pretty much on their own compared to what you went through.
Exactly, except when the father still carries the guilt. Now his children are grown. One is married. The other one is just graduated college. Now he's supporting his son who's graduated college. When does it end?
Well, that sucks.
It sucks.
That sucks.
It's like my
Get
mother
a
said,
goddamn job, you lazy son of a bitch.
Exactly. I said, when are you getting off the gravy train? I don't know, anytime soon?
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't end. But that's when you deal with, people that have children. There's so much more that goes.
But don't you think if you meet another guy with kids, you're going to deal with the same thing?
I do to some degree, but I will tell you this. Now I'm not in a situation where I'm looking to get married and start a family. What do I need to be married for?
So what are you looking for, a booty call?
No, dating. Listen, I'm dating somebody who has children, and this is the deal. When I have my kids, he has his kids. I'll see you next weekend when we don't have our kids.
There we go. All right,
And it works.
All right, Lisa. Well, thank you for that story.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Are you hearing that?
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. I understand we have the guy who wrote the letter. His name is Brian. Calling in. Brian, you're on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello, brother.
Hello, Brian.
Man, you were the older brother I wish I had.
I understand.
Well, should I start with the story, I guess, or?
Well, go ahead.
Okay, basically, I'm 25. My daughter is 3. Mom, she is a loser. I gained custody when my daughter was 4 months old.
Mom has to be either a lesbian, a drug addict, or
loser.
Well, but
no, like complete loser.
Drug addicts are losers. But wait a minute, you got with a loser.
I did.
This was like you knocked up a loser by accident, a one-night stand, what?
No, this was sheer stupidity. It was sheer stupidity. I basically let her pussy whip me, and it was pretty bad.
Wow.
It was pretty bad.
And you had a baby with a loser.
I had a baby with a loser.
Why'd you do that? Besides being stupid, I mean, what was going through your head?
You know what? Nothing, obviously, because I did it. When we found out, it was real early. you know, and I said, okay, well, we can get this fixed, and she wouldn't have it. F you, I'm going to have this kid with or without you, and I don't need you anyway, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the chick was psycho, you know. And
so it was the best lay you ever had, of course.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
And I was just 21 when I just barely first met her, and I was like, yeah, the best lay I had, and I let it just get the best hold of me. So.
Right, so there you are in Temecula. Did you hear your soulmate calling in looking for a booty call?
You know I'm going to be emailing her after I'm done with you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, it's been a while. And I mean, I see all my friends, they're all getting laid, and, you know, it's like, well, F you guys, man, because I figured what it is.
No, they're getting laid because they didn't do anything stupid like you did.
That's very true. That is very true. But, I mean, I love my daughter. You know, it was a mistake, and I'll tell her that when she's older and old enough to realize that, you know, I messed up. Tom, you're like her second daddy. I mean, brother, you and me helped me raise this little girl with your philosophy.
Look at that.
I'm telling her not to even consider having kids till 25, not marriage till 25. Have your fun. You know, if you want to go out, and she's going to be a little cutie, you know, and she's going to have these guys that are going to, you know, be right there telling her, look, these guys are just going to want to get in your pants.
How old is she?
She's 3. 3 in April.
So you knocked this broad up when you were 21.
Yes, I did.
And were you happy about it?
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
At first, and Tom, to be honest with you, when I first decided to make the decision to fight for her, I had to fight for her. I had to take her to court and say, I want to see my kid. She was denying me. I had not seen my child the first 2.5 months she was born.
So how did you get full custody?
When I got full custody, she was getting kicked out of her mom and dad's house. She didn't have a car. She didn't have a license. She didn't have employment. She was moving in with some guy she met off the internet. Who would you give the kid to? I mean, I was living...
Well, frequently guys don't get custody even after all that.
Well, I also had an attorney. See, she messed up in the fact that my dad's a bailiff. So my attorney was top dollar for $0.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I mean, I had definitely had the upper hand. It was not and it wasn't an easy battle, you know. It was pretty rough.
Wow.
But now she's pretty much out of the picture. You know, I've given her chances, but she doesn't want to see her on my terms. And she took her out to Vegas when she wasn't even supposed to leave Riverside County with her.
Yeah.
And this is like the most recent accident. She might be listening. You know, she is. I'm sure she's freaking out right now. That a-hole, he took, you know, her thing is, oh, you took my kid away from me. It's like, I didn't take her away from you. I'm just doing what's best for my child. I want my child to be raised properly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't need another girl like you in this world. The world doesn't need it.
Well, you're certainly right about that.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Your listeners are like the stupidest people I've ever heard in my life.
Well, by the way, attention advertisers, you too can reach this prime demographic.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jessica on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello.
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 How are you?
Do you care?
I actually do.
I'm doing great.
Good. So this whole single father thing. I'm a single parent. I have a 11-year-old daughter. Anyway, but I dated a guy, and it was the same kind of like that other caller. And anyway, he had 2 kids, and I had to kind of be the mediator between picking up with the ex-wife, and it was terrible.
Yeah. And
so, but it's hard because I'm a single parent, and
hard for you to be critical.
Yeah, but I think it is different with. I think a lot of it is the money thing too. Mm-hmm. My daughter, her real father was killed. Anyway, so I don't have the financial. Someone that was to come to me
wouldn't have the burden of the financial responsibility. But I've been there on the other side where I've dated someone and I've been like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to take on all the financial responsibility of their kids. So it's really tough. It's tough being a single parent. That's all I have to say. It is.
Well, at least you were not there through any fault of your own. Many people choose this without knowing what it is they're getting themselves into.
Exactly. And it's a tough thing. And just like even the guy in Temecula, I think that, you want to find someone like, for me, you want to find someone that you can trust with your child, but then at the same time you're human. You also want to find someone, as you say it, a booty call.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to bring someone in your child's life that's, you have to protect yourself and the child.
Well, you do.
At least that's the way I do it,
Well, that just means you're not going to be getting laid till you're about 40.
Probably not.